happy with that, or we want to focus it more that way?
Either way is fine. And then do you think that's good?
I think that's fine. Let's just leave that.
And this is fine.
Yep.
Wait, is it gonna load?
But it's yellow.
It'll still work, you know, that's like tough stuff, I don't know why. You are.
Thank you.
Why is she sad? I think she said because someone pushed her.
Thanks.
Look. Mom, look. It's over here. Mom, look. And down and down and down. Look. Look at this.
Good afternoon. My name is StMatthias-SomersetNJ. I'm a junior in high school attending St. Thomas Aquinas and a senior Girl Scout. Today, we are celebrating the launch of a brand new Girl Scout Gold Award project. Well, what exactly is the Girl Scout Gold Award? The Gold Award is the highest achievement within the Girl Scouts of the USA, earned by senior and ambassador Girl Scouts. In order to earn this honor, a Scout must complete 2 Girl Scout senior or ambassador journeys, or complete 1 Girl Scout senior or ambassador journey, and have earned the Silver Award. Following those requirements, they must plan and implement an individual cake action project that reaches beyond the Girl Scout organization and provides a sustainable, lasting benefit to the girls' larger community. Once these steps have been met, girls use their vision for change for the service project, which requires a minimum of 80 hours of work in planning and actually completing the project. All of these hours must be completed by an awardee. Plans must be developed with the aid of an advisor. Then a project proposal must be submitted and approved by the girls' local council before starting the project. And a final report must be submitted and approved by the project's completion. Only 5.4% of eligible Girl Scouts earn the Gold Award. Gold Award alumni have historically become tenacious leaders in the worlds of STEM, politics, medicine, education, entertainment, and much more. Notable Gold Award recipients include model and entrepreneur Tyra Banks, actress Casey Wilson, entrepreneur Kristen Carbone, Senator Tammy Duckworth, and GSUSA National Board President Noreen Khan. Regardless of where life may take them, Gold Award Girl Scouts have confidence, courage, and the character needed to be changed in the world. I would now like to welcome Melody Adamski, who will be leading us in our opening activity.
Hello, my name is Melody Adamski. I'm a 2024 graduate of Immaculata High School, and I will be attending the University of Delaware this fall, majoring in kinesiology. We would like to start today with an opening activity. I ask you all to close your eyes. I ask you to close your eyes, being sure that you're unable to see the person in front of you, the person behind you, and the person beside you. I'm going to read a list of questions, and if you have done this or can ever relate to it, I ask you that you raise your hand. Raise your hand if you have ever felt misunderstood and that no one can understand what you're going through. Raise your hand if you have ever lacked energy or motivation to do the things you used to enjoy. Raise your hand if you have ever had thoughts constantly racing, making it hard to focus. Raise your hand if you have ever worried about things even when there was no reason to worry. Raise your hand if you have ever felt like you are not good enough, or that you are failing at life. Raise your hand if you have ever felt like your emotions are all over the place and hard to control. Raise your hand if you have ever felt stuck in a cycle of negative thoughts. Raise your hand if you have ever felt overwhelmed by simple everyday tasks. Raise your hand if you have ever felt like you're just going through the motions and not really living. Raise your hand if you have ever felt isolated and disconnected from others. Raise your hand if you have ever felt burdened with responsibility that you couldn't handle. Raise your hand if you have ever felt constantly stressed and unable to relax. Raise your hand if you have ever lost interest in activities or hobbies you've once loved. Raise your hand if you've ever felt like you couldn't escape feelings of sadness or emptiness. Raise your hand if you have ever felt anxious or on edge, even when there is no apparent reason. And lastly, raise your hand if you've ever hidden from your friends and loved ones, scared of what they may think or that they wouldn't understand. You may now all lower your hands and open your eyes as I welcome Emily Chavez, the creator of How to Be a Superhero.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Emily Chavez. I am a Girl Scout ambassador for the Girl Scouts Heart of New Jersey. A little bit more information about me. I am a newly graduated Franklin High School alumni, and I will be attending American University in the fall, where I'll be studying international relations. I am a recipient of both the Girl Scout Bronze and Silver Award, and today is the launch event for my Gold Award project. And lastly, I am the proud writer and creator of How to Build a Superhero. Today's activity was a direct reflection of today's world. We all admit that we have struggled mentally and emotionally, some even the same as others. Yet, we are surrounded by so much stigma and harmful rhetoric that we feel uncomfortable and scared to show how we are feeling to even our closest friends and loved ones. It's not a problem of ours, but rather a problem of the world and society that we are living in. We're having depression, having anxiety, or rather just being stressed about the things that quote unquote shouldn't be stressful is considered wrong because we aren't educated enough about it. That is exactly why I created this project. Throughout the past few years of my life, I have been passionate about the topic of mental health. Growing up, there weren't many resources that we could use to learn about it. Mental health was always treated like this controversial disease that no one ever even dared to mention, especially within young school settings. It wasn't until around 9th grade that I actually began to learn about mental health. I never knew how serious mental illnesses could be, and rather how common they were, even among my friends, family, and peers. So, through both Girl Scouts and my time as a youth ambassador for the Center of Faith Justice, I dedicated the next few years of my life to educating the community about mental health, encouraging those complicated, uncomfortable, yet necessary conversations, and making mental health education more accessible for the entire community. I created this resource, How to Be a Superhero, so that it could be something that can be related to and helpful to both people who are currently progressing in their mental health journey, as well as those who are looking to be better, more knowledgeable allies in the mental health community. I believe that it is only through education that we can reduce the offensive stigma and the negative rhetoric that surrounds mental health, and create a supportive, more knowledgeable environment. I hope you enjoyed reading the book as much as I enjoyed writing it, and I hope you were able to learn something new from it. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, Ms. Mary Gordino. I've gotten the honor to work alongside Ms. Gordino for the past couple years. She is a parishioner here at St. Matthias, as well as the founder and owner of a mental health organization, Freedom from Fear. Please welcome Ms. Gordino warmly as she shares a few words.
Thank you, Emily. It's really amazing what you did. I'm a little worried, though, that someone was filming who was raising their hands, and when we leave here, there may be an ambulance waiting for us. Little scared. I have been in the mental health field for 40 years, very long time, and I think in that 40 years, I've organized many local and national programs and probably have reached millions and millions of Americans through my work. And I probably have interviewed more than 10,000 people who were seeking help for their emotional problems. And what I've learned is that how hard we work and how hard we reach out, it's never enough. We need to clone people like Emily, the young people, because they understand better than we do the present environment. We're very lucky to have Emily as part of St. Matthias. And a while back, I have to thank Deacon John, who has about 42 jobs at this place. I told Father Abraham if he ever leaves, he needs 5 people to replace him. But I was introduced to the youth organization SMILE, and I was so impressed with Emily and her co-members of this group. They took upon the task to make mental health their initiative in the past year. And they organized a self-care fair that maybe many of you have attended. And I will let you know that in my career, I have worked with the biggest marketing companies and people in the mental health fields who have trained me how to reach out. But these kids were better than those people that get hundreds of millions of dollars. They were with it, really, really with it. So I'm thankful to Deacon John and the SMILE group. And because of it, I'm organizing a similar big event in the largest parish in the Archdiocese of New York. So what I say to all of you here, you have to plant seeds. SMILE and Emily planted a seed in my mind of something that was necessary for me to do. And I'm grateful to Emily. And I'm also grateful to her to letting me know about this route through the Girl Scouts, because my daughter has been a leader and founded a Girl Scout group in California, and my 2 little granddaughters have been in it since they're brownies. Now I'll torture them that how come they're not doing these projects, and become a gold, and maybe become the first person from St. Matthias, Miss Emily, to hold a political office, because we need people like that. But anyway, thank you for coming, and I want to leave you with one important mental health fact. It has been documented time and time again. Those children, teenagers, adults who belong to a church, a synagogue, a mosque, a Buddhist temple, whatever the religion is, have a much lower incidence of having a mental illness or a substance abuse problem. Keep that in mind and encourage, please, in whatever way you have to do it. Get your grandchildren, your kids, everyone you know, to come back to church. And thank you, Emily. You did more for me than I did for you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Cordino, and thank you just so much for everything that you've done for this community. Now, I'd like to introduce one of my fellow Girl Scouts in Troop 60628, Ms. Gabby Langren, as we begin what I like to call experiencing how to be a superhero.
Hello, my name is Gabby Langren. I'm a recent graduate of Rutgers Prep, and I plan to attend George Washington University in the fall. This is an excerpt from the first chapter of How to Be a Superhero. Hi, my name is Anna, and I have OCD. This is my story. When I was 6 years old, my father passed away. It took a really big toll on my family's emotional dynamic, especially on my mother. However, it wasn't one I could quite process yet. It was a very awkward age for me, as I was old enough to remember my father fondly and all the moments we had together, but too young to process the fact that he was gone, as well as the emotions and impacts his death on me mentally. It wasn't until middle school that I started experiencing the mental effects of my father's death. I got this sudden fear of vomit, and I let it start to take over my day-to-day activities. I began to have spontaneous episodes of numbness with no clear trigger. The mix of these episodes, plus my incapability to function due to my fear of even the thought of vomit, completely took over my life, taking me out of school for months at a time. At the time, neither my mother or I knew anything about OCD. We didn't know what it was, what caused it, or the clear symptoms of someone suffering from it. As I laid in my bed for weeks at a time, my mother simply thought to herself, "What is wrong with my child?" She always supported me, and she truly tried to help me. However, she didn't know how. Seeking out more support than they could provide for me, both my mother and my school worked to find me professional help. I jumped from therapist to therapist from grades 6 through 8, none of which were able to truly help me through what I was going through. But eventually, I found my present therapist, Mr. Marks. He was the person who officially diagnosed me with OCD, and he was able to explain my disorder to both me and my mother in a way that we could understand. He seemed to understand my personality, my symptoms, and what I needed to progress more than all the other therapists. With his support, I began to grow, gradually learning coping mechanisms and gaining a deeper understanding of my OCD. And he stayed by my side and guided me every step of the way for the past 5 years. Mr. Marks, my mother, and my whole support team at school and at home were always there to support me through my journey in any way we possibly could. They were and continue to be my superheroes. That brings us to the present day. Looking back, I can now reflect on my journey as an accomplishment, rather than a tragedy. I've become more knowledgeable about my OCD, and I'm happy with how I handle the challenges that come my way. While bad days still happen, just as they do for everyone, I now feel capable of using what I learned to cope with most situations thrown at me without negatively affecting those around me. In conclusion, if there is one way that I feel society as a whole can be better allies to those with mental illness, it would be through educating ourselves about mental illness that are rapidly surfacing in today's age. Knowing more about mental health disorders such as OCD can bridge the gap and create a supportive, more knowledgeable environment. My hope for society is rooted in the belief that understanding leads to empathy. And through that empathy, we can help one another overcome any physical, mental, or emotional challenges thrown our way, no matter how big or small. Thank you, Mr. Marks. Thank you for being my superhero.
Thank you so much, Gabby. What a great progressive ending for Anna. However, it was only possible for her to start this journey of healing and improvement because of her supportive environment. So what can we do to be superheroes for people with OCD? When it comes to being an ally to mental health, it is of utmost importance to have good communication and healthy boundaries. Together, agreeing on an approach that feels right for both parties, encouraging the challenging of compulsions where appropriate, being gentle but consistent, and trying to validate their feelings are all crucial in being a good ally with open communication and healthy boundaries. Every situation is going to be subjective to change. That's the beauty of humanity. No two people are the same. No two people's experiences are the same. There is truly no one-size-fits-all on how to solve the overarching issue of mental health, which is why the key to being able to start that journey, to start that path towards progress, is communication, education, and the abolishment of harmful rhetoric. Mental health and mental illness are such relevant yet complicated issues, especially in today's present day. Mental health and mental illness both affect all of us, whether it's directly or through a loved one. And like I've said, education is key to creating an environment where every individual's mental health can flourish. As mental illness becomes more prevalent in our society, as we've seen directly or within the news, it is more crucial than ever that we step up as allies and supporters of those who are struggling. Just as Lisa Olivero once said, just because no one else can heal or do your inner work for you doesn't mean that you can, should, or need to do it alone. It becomes more and more true. Nobody deserves to go through anything alone, no matter how much they may say they don't need anyone, or as much as they insist that they'll be fine. But remember, being an ally also means taking care of yourself. Surrounding yourself with complicated situations, as important as they will be, can be very stressful and anxiety-inducing on both parties, the one struggling and the one assisting the struggle. So be sure to check in with yourself and in with others, no matter the stage of their journey. So now at this time, if anyone has any questions about how to be a superhero, about myself or the project, I now open the floor to anyone who may have any questions. All right then. With that, I would like to give a special thanks to everyone who made this entire project possible. First, I would like to thank my mom and my troop leaders. This journey has not been easy, and every time I felt the pressure or the work getting to be a bit unmotivating, they were there to pick me up and help me see it through, so thank you. I would also like to thank Ms. Gordino, who has given me so much knowledge, has shared her wisdom with me, and has helped me to expand my knowledge of mental health. I would also like to thank my Troop 606-280 team, especially those who are present here today, Annalise, Gabby, and Melody. All of your guys' help has meant a lot to me, whether it was writing the book or setting up this whole event. You guys were definitely crucial in ensuring that this project was a success. Lastly, I would like to thank all of you for coming. This project has now been years in the making, and having you all here, whether it's in person or online, truly means the world. So thank you. After the conclusion of this speech, everyone is welcome for some light refreshments in the back, especially in the choir room, that's where they all are. So with that, I want to say just everyone stay safe, and remember, in every aspect of life, just as it was written in Anna's story, understanding leads to empathy. And through that empathy, we can help one another overcome any challenges thrown our way. Thank you so much and have a great evening.
Coming and we got those refreshments in the back. Thank you.